Indian polity and constitution. हमें क्या पढ़ना है? What are we going to study in this? So the class will be on two languages, both English and plus Hindi, since the person have joined many from Hindi language also. So Hindi और English दोनों में रहेगी. मैं I'll write in English, लिखूंगा English में, समझाऊंगा दोनों में. So and it will be better for everyone, so that all can include in this class. So Indian polity and constitution. So what are we going to study in this? See, we elect legislatures. Be very careful. We elect legislatures. हम अपने रिप्रेजेंटेटिव को चुनते हैं और उसको लोकसभा संसद में, लोकसभा राज्यसभा में, पार्लियामेंट में भेजते हैं. We send them to parliament. So we elect legislatures, means we elect representatives and send them to Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha directly and Rajya Sabha indirectly. So Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, so this constitutes parliament, including president, parliament, and they frames laws. They creates legislatures. This Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, or parliament or parliamentarians, those whom we send by electing after elections, the those representatives, they create legislatures, they create laws, regulations. So regarding laws, and these laws are being implemented upon the society. These laws are being implemented upon the society, and if the laws are similar to constitution, means if the laws are according to constitution, this can be implemented on the society. And if the laws are not according to the constitution, if the laws are not according to the constitution, then Supreme Court will interfere in that. Supreme Court will interfere in that, and the Supreme Court will take decisions either to quash the law, to declare it null and void, उसको null and void declare कर देगा, या फिर उसको continue रखेगा. Okay, some of the provisions are good and it can be implemented, it can be regulated. So the Supreme Court keeps a watch. Supreme Court keeps a watch over whatever the parliament does, what enacts, and that means whatever laws have been enacted, whether those laws are as per the constitution or not. If it violates any of the provisions of the constitution, especially the fundamental rights, the Supreme Court declares the particular law null and void. So Supreme Court, and this impacts entire society again. So this all including we are going to study in polity. All including this means we have to know about the parliament, how the election process, the laws are created, whatever the laws have been created, and how the laws are being implemented, being implemented, and the laws are being implemented upon the society. What are the impacts on the society regarding that laws, and whether the law is according to the constitution or not. If the law is according to the constitution, what section of the constitution, what part of the constitution, what article of the constitution are being affected, implemented. So this we have to keep in mind. And again, if the law is not inconsistent with the constitution, not according to the constitution, the Supreme Court declares it null and void. So the ground on which Supreme Court declares it null and void, that we need to know. And again, Supreme Court suggests the parliament that these changes you have to make. So the ground for those changes, and the parliament enacts laws based on some rules and regulations. So all these we need to study in polity. This all constitutes the polity and constitution. Constitution is a separate book. We need to go one by one. So all these we are going to study. So first start with what is, let me tell you, or you just tell me, what is the difference between state and nation? स्टेट एंड नेशन के बीच में क्या अंतर है और होता क्या है? ये स्टेट और नेशन होता क्या है? कैन एनीबॉडी से, कैन एनीबॉडी एक्सप्लेन? I'm waiting.
Hello, sir.
There should be two-way communications, not means like only मैं सिर्फ मैं ही बोलूंगा तो समझ में नहीं आएगी आप लोगों को और मुझे भी इंटरेस्ट नहीं आएगा. So you have to talk, you have to ask the questions, you have to answer it. Yes.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, 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 yes.
So, a nation is like more of a territorial thing, like a country, whereas a state refers to the country and also its legislative and executive body, like the parliament and the judiciary, as well as various government agencies like ONGC, etc.
Okay, basically means what you're saying, state is basically the institution, right? As per
Yes.
you, as what you said is institution. The state is
Yes.
basically institution. So, and this institution may contain parliament and all other things. And the nation is country. You said.
Yeah.
Nation
I
is
can be
country.
wrong.
And
I can be wrong.
no. I'm not judging. I'm asking. Just
Yeah.
you have to means share your knowledge whatever you have. So country and the institutions. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? कोई और बता सकता है क्या? Yes, yes.
Yes, sir. May I?
Yes, yes.
Sir, state is is like a structure of organization which is counted as like the different state, for example, as West Bengal, Maharashtra, and along with it, different organizations also, like any private or government organization can be called as state. And I think so in the nation, we can say a feeling of oneness, feeling of unity. Instead of, demarcating the boundary or the territorial areas, nation is feeling of oneness or the unity and equality, I can say.
Okay. Thank you. So, okay, some sort of, some sort of correct. Okay, let me correct you. Means, let me explain. See, state, whatever you said, this nation is okay. Nation is a feeling that is okay. State is a political entity. State is a political entity. We can say state is a political entity. State here doesn't mean a particular state, राज्य. छोटे छोटे राज्य को हम state नहीं बोल रहे हैं. यहाँ एक entire country को हम state बोलते हैं. So state is a political entity. Means entire India. Suppose if we are considering about India, so entire India is a political entity. Forgive me means for this drawing. So entire India is a state. Entire India is a political entity. Okay, and it has a physical boundary. It has a physical boundary. Entire India, it has a physical boundary. This is real. This state is real. In the real sense, it exists. We can see it exists in real sense. But nation is a feeling. Nation does not exist in practical sense or in physical sense. Nation is feeling. Means you feel like being Indian. Whenever you feel like being Indian, that is feeling of nationality. Nation does not exist in physical sense. Nation is a mental construct that is in your mind. Nation is a mental construct that is in your mind. This gives the sense of belongingness. This gives the sense of belongingness. मतलब अगर हम अमेरिका जाते हैं या फिर किसी और कंट्री में जाते हैं तो हमें इंडियन करके बुलाया जाता है कि वी आर इंडियन. ओके, मींस अगर कोई पूछे कि वेयर आर यू फ्रॉम, इंडिया, नॉट फ्रॉम महाराष्ट्र, नॉट फ्रॉम पर्टिकुलर स्टेट्स, इंडिया. सो दैट इंडिया, फीलिंग ऑफ इंडियननेस, अगर कोई इंडिया के बारे में कुछ कहता है, वी फील बैड, राइट? वी फील बैड. So why we feel bad? Because we have feeling about India. We have feeling about India that India is good. We stay in India. We have some attachment with India. India cannot be bad. India is good. So if somebody talks against it, we feel bad. So that feeling, nation is that feeling. And this feeling binds us together. This feeling binds us together, oneness. We focus on unity in diversity. Unity in diversity, not uniformity. We do not focus on uniformity. हम सबको एक जैसा नहीं बनाना चाहते हैं. रिगार्डिंग जो जैसे हैं सबको यूनाइट करना चाहते हैं, सबको एक साथ लाना चाहते हैं. दैट इज यूनिटी इन डाइवर्सिटी. we do not want to bring uniformity, rather we want unity. So
2500.
yes. Anybody tell me, you have any questions? I'll request to mute from your side. Kindly mute it. If you're not talking, so just mute from your side so that others cannot get disturbed. So we want unity in diversity. Everyone should feel that we are the part of a political entity, one political entity, that is India. We are a part of one political entity. One political entity. That is India. So this feeling should be there in everyone. Or if someone belongs to America, or if someone belongs to United Kingdom, France, Russia, wherever, China, so they should feel like they are from China, they are from Russia, they are from America. That feeling is nation. That feeling is nationhood. So this nation building process goes in the minds of people. This nation building goes in the minds of people. This does not exist in real sense. So we want unity through maintaining diversity. Despite different cultures, despite different way of living, we want everyone to come together and feel a unity that is nationhood. That creates a nation. Wherever we go in the world, we identify ourselves as an Indian. हम अपने आप को इंडियन कहलाएंगे. So that Indianness is nation. That feeling is nation. And what is state then? State is a political entity. It has a physical boundary. It exists in real sense. So for any state, there are 4 elements which are essentials. So 4 elements are essential for a state. ये 4 एलिमेंट अगर होंगे तो ही स्टेट कहलाएगा, अदरवाइज स्टेट नहीं कहलाएगा. And those 4 elements are, first is population. स्टेट में पॉपुलेशन होनी चाहिए, सिटीजन होनी चाहिए. फर्स्ट इज पॉपुलेशन. सेकेंड इज टेरिटरी, जो कि या बाउंड्री जो कि बोलते हैं, एक डिमार्केटेड बाउंड्री होनी चाहिए. एक अथॉरिटी होनी चाहिए उसको चलाने के लिए, जिसको हम गवर्नमेंट बोलते हैं. देयर शुड बी वन अथॉरिटी who should implement all rules and regulations and makes the provisions for smooth running of that particular state. And above all, sovereignty. Sovereignty होनी चाहिए. Sovereignty means, sovereignty का मतलब होता है कि लीगल अथॉरिटी, लीगल अथॉरिटी ओवर पीपल एंड लैंड. लोगों के ऊपर भी लीगल अथॉरिटी हो और जो एरिया है, टेरिटरी है, बाउंड्री है, उनके ऊपर भी लीगल अथॉरिटी हो, उसको कहते हैं सॉवरेनिटी. सॉवरेनिटी. So we are not dependent on any other country or any other person. We are independent. We can take any decisions, we can implement any decisions ourselves. We are not dependent on any other persons or any other country to take decisions. So that independentness, that independent and being independent, being free of taking any decisions, so this is known as sovereignty. We have all powers to do everything ourselves. As a India, as a state, we have all powers to do everything. So that creates sovereignty. That is sovereignty. So we have full authority to decide on people and territory. If somebody attacks, if somebody comes on our territory, we have the power to fight back. We have the power to fight back and stop any persons, any entity, any state, any nation to approach, to attack on India, on Indian territory. So we have all powers. We are open for everything. So that creates this creates sovereignty. This creates sovereignty. And the government, this government is one of the organ, one of the element of the state. Government is one of the organ, one of the element of the state. So this government is responsible for implementing the sovereignty. This government is responsible for implementing sovereignty, for maintaining sovereignty. So government ही जो है ये इसको sovereignty maintain करना है. Government does everything: protection of boundaries, international relations, bilateral talks, means relations with various other countries, multilateral talks, defense, security. Everything is the responsibility of this government. Everything is the responsibility of this government. So state has 4 elements. This you have to remember. State has 4 elements, that is populations, territory, government, and sovereignty. Even if any one item or any one element misses from here, the state loses its identity. That will not remain as a state. If there is no sovereignty, the state is not recognized by others. Anybody can attack, anybody can go, and anybody can establish their colonies, like what Britishers did earlier upon India or any other country. So government should also be there to maintain everything. There should be a fixed territory or fixed boundary, and there should be a population to govern upon. There should be a population to govern upon. For example, take the example like Kosovo. Kosovo is a country. Since 1999, Kosovo declares itself independent. Yes, we are independent. Kosovo declares itself independent. We are independent. But this This its independence is not being recognized by any other country. Not being recognized by any other country. So this Kosovo is not independent in real sense, despite declaring itself independent, and if not being recognized by other country as an independent and as a sovereign country, this does not make this state, this Kosovo, as an independent. So there should be a proper recognition by other nation. Proper recognition by other nations to be sovereign. Sovereign होने के लिए भी recognition चाहिए. India got independent in 1947. So before 1947, it was under British. It was under British. So we were under British. We were not free to take any decisions. So we were not sovereign. We were not sovereign. Because we were dependent on Britishers for every decisions. So we were not sovereign. But after 1947, we became independent. We became independent. We are not dependent on any other. We are not dependent on any other, and hence we became sovereign. And our sovereignty, our independence are being recognized by many other countries. First, it was the UK, England. First, it recognized our sovereignty. Then America, France, Germany, every other countries, one by one, everyone recognized our independence and our sovereignty. Yes, we can protect our boundary, we can protect our people, that is sovereignty. Everybody recognized. So this sovereignty, recognition of sovereignty is also important. This recognition of sovereignty is also important. Now you tell me, what is the difference between state or what? Who came first? State came first or government came first? Who came first? First came state or first came government? पहले गवर्नमेंट बना उसके बाद स्टेट बना या पहले स्टेट बना उसके बाद गवर्नमेंट बना? कौन बना पहले? Anybody?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, first state, then government.
Okay. What is your name? You have written Oppo only.
Sir, this is Akshay Divekar.
Okay. So first came state, then government.
First, then government.
Then government. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So first came India. Then we created or we formed government, right?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay, what is the difference between this state and government? What is the difference between two? I just said state is a political entity. I just said state is a political entity.
The state, hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, government is an organization, or it is just an organization which can run the entire state.
Okay, so
With,
government is an organization.
Yes.
Or we can
With
say state of institution.
Yes, sir. State of institution, and it runs with
State of institution.
In under.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, please. Okay, government is a state of institution. Yes, this is right. And state is a political entity. So this government is one element. This government is one element of a state. This government requires, this organization requires to run the state. So government here, state is a bigger sense. State is bigger, and government is one element of that. So individual person, what is government means defining the government. So individual person occupying position, individual person occupying position in, what we can say, occupying position in systematic manner. So individual person occupying position in systematic manner and exercises power. And exercises power. So this individual person in a group, this individual person in a group called government, and they maintain sovereignty of a state. So state is a political entity, and first came state. State came first. State came first, then government. पहले स्टेट को रिकॉग्नाइज किया गया, यस देयर इज इंडिया, एंड देन वी फॉर्म द गवर्नमेंट, पार्लियामेंट. So state came first and then government. So whatever I was saying, that sovereignty, this concept is a big concept, and you have to know about this. Sovereignty is being independent, being free to take any decisions. We are not independent on others. But is this sovereignty absolute? Absolute means whatever we want we can do. If we want to attack on China, we want to attack on Pakistan, or if we want to attack on Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, America, we can do. Means that sort of independence? No. Being independent does not mean absolute independence. Means whatever we want we can do. That should not be absolute independence. So there are some of the, we can say, restrictions for being independent. There are some of the restrictions. We are not answerable to anyone, but certainly we are answerable to some organizations like United Nations, like World Bank, like regional, what we create regional organizations like SAARC, ASEAN, BIMS, BRICS, BIMSTEC, etc. So our actions, whatever we do, our actions are visible to outside world, especially to World Bank and United Nations. Especially to World Bank and United Nations. And we, since we are a party to that, हम लोगों ने हम उनके मेंबर्स हैं, यूनाइटेड नेशंस के मेंबर्स हैं, वर्ल्ड बैंक के मेंबर्स हैं. उसके बाद जो रीजनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, जैसे ह्यूमन राइट्स कमीशन हैं, यूनाइटेड नेशन ह्यूमन राइट्स कमीशन, या फिर रीजनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस है सार्क, साउथ एशियन एसोसिएशन ऑफ रीजनल कोऑपरेशन, सार्क. देन कॉमनवेल्थ, we are a party to Commonwealth. Then we have ASEAN, we have BRICS, we have BIMSTEC. So we are answerable to these groups, these organizations, because we are the party, we are the signatory, we have signed the agreement with them. So we should adhere to the concept, to the freedom of them also, these countries also, those who are the members of these organizations. So being independent does not mean we are absolute independence. We have some restrictions. So whatever the decisions they take, whatever the decisions United Nations take, whatever the decisions World Bank take, being a party, we have to obey, we have to adhere to their decisions. But whether to join this group, whether to join this group is completely on ourselves. So that comes on our sovereignty. If we want to join this group, that is on our sovereignty. And if we do not want to join these groups, that is on our sovereignty. Okay, because of sovereignty, we don't want to join your group. So in case of population, what I said, sovereignty is one part. Population are of two types. Let me take the new page. Population, if you're considering India, there are two types of population residing in India. One is citizen of India. One are aliens. एलियंस मतलब ये नहीं कि जो मार्स से आया हो या दूसरे ग्रह से आया हुआ, वो उसको एलियंस नहीं बोलते हैं. एलियंस का मतलब होते हैं यहाँ पर फॉरेनर्स. Alien means foreigners. So those who are not Indian citizens, they are aliens. Aliens for us. Population constitute two types of population, this citizen and aliens. Alien में भी दो तरह के होते हैं. Aliens are also two types. One is friendly. And one enemy. एक फ्रेंडली एलियंस होते हैं, एक इनेमी एलियंस होते हैं. तो जैसे अगर कोई पाकिस्तान से आता है, सो वी कंसीडर इट एन इनेमी एलियंस, लाइक टेररिस्ट्स. नॉट ऑल पाकिस्तानीज आर टेररिस्ट्स, बट हु कम एज एन इलीगल मीन्स फ्रॉम पाकिस्तान और फ्रॉम बांग्लादेश and cause harm to India, that we consider it as a terrorist. So these terrorists are enemy. And others also, the country we are at war with, जिस कंट्री के साथ हमारा वॉर चल रहा है, अगर करंट में अगर किसी कंट्री के साथ हमारा वॉर चल रहा है, तो उस कंट्री के सारे सिटीजन्स को हम इनेमी एलियन डिक्लेयर कर देते हैं. Enemy aliens. So they cannot come to India. We don't provide the visa and permissions for them to come to India. So the country to which we are at war, we do not consider their citizens as friendly citizens, friendly aliens. They are enemy aliens. So there are two concepts: enemy, terrorists, and the country we are at war with. And the friendly aliens are those who come to India with on proper valid visa, proper document, and with prior proper permissions. So they are friendly aliens. So population consists of two types of populations. Being citizen, we expect something from our country. There are some expectations. Being a citizen, we have some expectations from our country, and those expectations are being fulfilled in the form of fundamental rights, DPSPs, and other provisions. So we have some expectations. Being friendly, being alien also, they have also some expectations, but they do not have all the rights we as the citizens what we have. What we possess all the rights, those rights, all rights are not being available for these enemy aliens. Like we have power to vote. We have power to vote and elect our representative and send them to parliament to rule upon us, to create laws and regulations, and to implement and to make our life easy. This power is not available to friendly aliens or aliens. This power is not available to aliens. But some of the rights are too available for aliens, like they have the right to freedom, right to freedom to move. They can go anywhere, but subject to information. They have to give informations. They cannot. They have right to life. If they come to India, their life should not be in danger. They have the right to life, but they do not have the right to vote. They do not have right to get employment. So these rights are being not given to aliens. So when we study the fundamental rights, we will go through all provisions, what provisions are available for aliens and what provisions are available for citizens. So some of the rights are restricted for aliens. Since citizens participate in decision making, because we vote, we are voting, we are electing our representative. So we take part in decision making, who will go and what type of laws and regulations will be made. So we take part in decision making, and we decide or to elect the government. We have certain expectations from the government. Like, as a citizen takes part in decision making, this makes them democratic.
Okay.
As the citizen takes part in decision making, this makes them democratic. But people of Britain, means we are citizen, but population in Britain, people of Britain, they are called subjects, not citizens. They are called subjects. So in Britain, the Queen rules still now the Queen rules in a democratic means, whatever, but the people of Britain are called subjects. And these subjects cannot directly participate in the decision making of the government. Cannot directly participate. We do participate in the decision making. These citizens are impacted, means the decisions are being taken by the government, and those decisions are being implemented on the subjects. So there are no say, subjects have no say upon the decision making. Like Bhutan, we have Bhutan, there the king rule still goes on. Whatever the decisions the government takes, whatever the decision the king takes, those decisions are being implemented on the subjects. Subjects are not taking part in the decision making. Like China declares themselves as a communist state. China, whatever the government takes decisions, all decisions are being implemented on the citizens. On the citizens. All decisions of the government are being implemented on the citizens. Citizens have no say in the decision making, and they declare themselves as a communist. So some sort of oligarchy there are in China. Okay. So this concept you have clear?